Hello, my dear friends. I hope all of you are doing well. Congratulations on making it to a lot of interview calls. I know you are giving your best, and hence I'm here yet again with another interview experience video so that it helps your journey and you are able to learn from my or the YouTubers' mistake who are sharing their journeys for their interview experiences and make sure that you don't repeat them, you learn from them and give your best in all the interviews that you have and convert all of them, because after all you should have all the converted shortlist and then you should be overwhelmed to take a decision as to which IIM you should go. With that in mind, today's video will be all about my IIM Shillong interviews experience. So if you're thinking about what is being asked in the interview, what is extempore all about, how did the extempore actually happens, and what are we being judged upon? So all of these questions I also had in my mind before this interview experience. But you know what helped me? My interview from IIM Shillong was happening at a later stage. Before this, I already gave certain interviews like my Narsi Munji's interview in their Mumbai campus, then SPJIMR's SPJIN's call within their SPJIN college in Mumbai. So why I'm mentioning that here is I've also recorded my interview experience from these particular colleges, and I would highly recommend you that these are certain candid videos where I've shared my candid thoughts, my learnings from these experiences, the bullet points which I had over my last year, very refreshingly there. So please go through them, understand that what was these experiences all about, and you'll get to know certain things as to how my mindset and understanding from these experiences shaped my overall experience here in IIM Shillong's interview. Now I'll cover briefly about the questions asked in IIM Shillong. So we were told to report very early in the morning, and I gave my interview in Bangalore. There we had a hall where we all were sitting together. We were given a certain set of instructions, and then we were certainly allotted in different kinds of rooms which were supposed to go, and those were called as panels. So in different panels, there were 6 to 7 students per panel, and we were given different slots for the interview timing. Now my interview. Maybe luckily or unluckily was in the last. Now usually I prefer that the first or the second slot is somewhat lucky for you, because you are the person who's making that first or second impression, and if your interview goes nice, that is a lasting impression and which other people has to beat. While if you are the last one in your interview panel, you might have had a lasting impression on the panel, but then that panel might be exhausted as well. So sometimes luck plays a huge role in your interview timeline, right? Which might reflect in your marks. So I am sharing this as don't beat yourself up if such a thing happens. It's very normal. Now I'll tell you about the two things which happened. Number one, as soon as we enter the interview, there were two teachers sitting in front of me, and fairly given the number of candidates, two is the maximum teacher they'll allot for all these students. Now first thing that happens is there is a bowl with certain number of chits. You have to pick up one chit which has a certain extempore topic given to you. Now based on this extempore topic, you have to speak 2 minutes non-stop. Usually you are given a pen and paper just for 30 seconds to write down your thoughts, and then you have to speak accordingly. You cannot be taking 31 or 32 seconds also. You have to start speaking after 30 seconds, and within 2 minutes you have to jot down whatever you can through that particular pointers. Now please understand, it's okay if you are getting a tough topic in extempore and you're not able to speak for 2 minutes straight, but it's not okay to stop at 145 or 150. You have to make sure that you covered all the 2 minutes point, and if you do not know much about the topic, then please try to relate it with that present day or your work experience or your interview experience of IIM Shillong for that matter, and ensure that you're completing that, because your confidence, clarity of thoughts, and your understanding of the room and that topic and how you relate it with the external factors is also equally important as much as the understanding of the topic. So that gives you certain brownie points is what I'm trying to say. Now comes the second part, which is the actual interview. Now sometimes it happens when I ask my friends about this, that when you talk about a certain point in your extempore topic, and if you say something, then you might be asked a follow-up question based on that as your first interview question as well. Thankfully in my case it was not the case, because a lot of things just blabber when you are giving that extempore topic, but do practice it well. I was asked about tell me about yourself, and a few questions were asked based on that, and hence I've written some bullet points, and I'll be sharing only questions in this particular video so that you are able to think through it and maybe draft your own answers when your interview comes, because your interview questions will be more or less on similar lines only, maybe a few aspects would be changed. So for me, I was a work experience person, and a heavily lot of work experience questions were being asked to me. But then that doesn't mean that I was not grilled on my accounts. I was grilled, and I'll be sharing those questions as it is. So first of all, my extempore topic was elephant in the room. After that, I was little bit my initial discussions went around how's India's stock market is performing, because at that point of time last year, US Trump tariff and few things were going on, so I had to answer few questions on that. Then there were certain questions which were related to my project management experience from Deloitte. What are the biggest issues that I faced around my work culture? I was asked around the stakeholder management part, and what was the process which I streamlined over my work experience. Now, how it can be changed for a person with no work experiences. You could be asked about how you streamline challenging situations in your UG. If you had a certain POR through clubs and committees, how did you approach those particular tasks? How did it shape your personality? These are the questions which will be coming to your way. Then I was asked about risk mitigations and certain nuances of the terms from my work culture. Then she asked me about a challenge where I started doubting myself, but then I convinced myself as well as the team as to this is the direction which we should head. So this is one particular type of question which can be asked to you. Again, it's fairly from the stakeholder management point of perspective, which I told, which can be asked to you either as a work ex person or from your POR experience of your UG or maybe school as well for that matter. Then after like these questions were asked to me by the ma'am sitting in front of me, and the last question asked to me by the ma'am was related to something happening related to sustainability in Paris, and I didn't know this particular answer is what I regret to till date. Then the sir was also sitting, and when I was talking to ma'am, sir was going through my set of the certifications and the file which I took. So this please be mindful of this as well. Whenever you go for IIM interview experiences, please make sure you're twice going through your files, your certifications as well, because a person might be looking at a certain certification of the past as well and might be asking you questions as well. So sir actually saw that file, but then he actually asked me first about my UG experience. He saw my mark sheet as well. He asked me related to my EC related topics. In fact, there were few questions where I fumbled. Like in my ECE perspective, he asked me about NPN, PNP transistor. He even gave me a pen and paper as to draw how these transistors actually work, how the hysteria, what is hysteria loss, how is magnetic flux playing into the picture, how electromagnetism works. Then he shifted to the derivatives part as to matrix derivatives and partial derivatives. These are certain terms from the statistics subjects which I studied in my engineering, so I was little bit grilled about these because I didn't know them completely. Then he asked me about my co-curricular and extracurricular part. This is where the other side of the interview happened for me, where I was actually able to present my creative aspects. And I am also a person whose poetry is published as a co-author, and my book by the name of The Poeticness is also available on Amazon and Flipkart. I'll share the link below in the description as well. If you would like to have a take a look at it, please do buy it and read certain poetries if you want. And I was actually praised and talked about those particular poetries as well in the interview, because I took that book there. So hence, if you have a certain brochure or a book which you have made, please take it to the interview. That goes a long way, guys. People actually get to see those particular material which you have printed or been a part of, and then it gives a very positive reflection to the interviewer as well. Then I was asked about my third and fourth year's particular experience in UG at VIT Vellore, because that were also my placement period, and how I shifted my experience from the ECE side of things to the consulting side of things, because my final placement during that time was in consulting at Deloitte. So I told about how guesstimates and other things related to consulting play a crucial role in my creative side of things, and how I shifted my interest altogether towards consulting as well. Then finally, there was one particular question that was asked was, if I were to go from Bangalore to IIM Shillong, how many states would I cross in the journey? So I had to answer that. I nailed it, by the way. And then I was asked how many railway stations are there in Shillong, and how easy or hard is the commute from IIM Shillong. So on this lighter note, we ended the interview. So I have briefly covered all the aspects that was asked to me in this interview. I would be hoping that you took certain notes of it and go around these questions, because these are the similar lines questions which are asked in certain other IIMs as well. And your clarity of thought, not just about yourself but related to how you will answer these questions, will shape your answers directly for the next interviews as well. So please Try, learn from your interview experience. If at all an interview goes bad, it's fine. You are a human being. Don't panic about it and do not screw up your other IIM interview calls. It's a big marathon game which you have to learn and understand about. And to help you out, I have already created a lot of videos in the past. Just go through my previous videos and playlists to understand the consulting worldscape or the IIM or the interview experience landscape better. And I look forward to you all to join the best of IIM calls. I hope you convert them all. So on that lighter note, please take care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.